the Bengals defeating the Ravens 32-14. All three winning teams had at least 30 points yesterday. I like it when I like it when, I love 31-28, 34-31. One or both teams in the 30s is perfect. You start getting up into the 40s, that's a little too much. One or both teams in the 30s, to me, is a perfect NFL game. I don't like 13-7. I don't want defensive struggle, punt, 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 punt. I want points. And really, it doesn't take much scoring to get to, a 28-28 game in the fourth quarter. Everybody scores one touchdown per quarter. That's good. And it gets you a nice final score. And the Ravens didn't hold up their end of it. They only scored 14. So credit to the Bengals defense. They had 9 straight games allowing 27 or more points. That tied an all-time record. They came 1 point from claiming the record for themselves against the Patriots because the Patriots scored 26. Well, now all of a sudden, they hold the Ravens to 14 points. 5 turnovers. And is it as simple as Joe Burrow's back and it gives us a little swagger? It gives us some confidence? Burrow returning. The first thing that I wrote on the card here for the Bengals-Ravens game, why didn't Burrow play against the Patriots? It was only 4 days later. If all the things that Burrow said this week are true, and I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying if we accept them as true, I just want to play football. I just want to be there for my team. I want to be able to. Are we to believe that the arrow went from not healthy enough to play on Sunday to healthy enough to play on Thursday? He fully participated in practice Wednesday and Thursday of last week. That means, as we've learned, thanks to the Ravens' misadventures with the Lamar Jackson injury report last month, he took every first-team rep. Burrow did. 2 straight days of practice. And the way he looked last night, they may have beaten the Patriots. They're 4-8 right now. They could have been 5-7, which would have put them in a much better position to make a run down the stretch. And I know they said in the broadcast last night, and it's accurate, they were 4-8 last year when they hit the gas pedal, and they finished 9-8, but it wasn't enough. It went down to the final Sunday. It's going to be a little harder this year. It's going to be a little harder. Their better path may be to hope the Steelers and the Ravens both stumble enough that the Bengals can jump up and maybe win a 2 or a 3-way tie. I don't know how it would work out if the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers are all tied. A 2-way tie, Bengals have a chance to complete the sweep of the Ravens when the Ravens come to town week 15. It's coming up quickly. So they'll hold the tiebreaker if that happens, but it gets complicated. And it's too early to do that kind of math. I'll defer to Steve Kornacki as we get closer to the end of the season. But the Bengals are still alive now. Burrow looked great. The Ravens did not. And the Ravens' 5 straight wins, when you consider who they won, I wrote it down here. Who'd they beat? They beat the Bears. That was impressive when you consider the Bears have otherwise won 8 of 9. That's the one loss, 30-16 in the last game before Lamar Jackson came back. They beat the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Browns, and the Jets. And none of those wins were particularly impressive. Even the Bears win, 30-16. It was close at the end. The Bears had that thing where they're driving and it's like, what the hell are they doing? The clock's running. Hello, is Matt Eberflus the head coach again? What's going on here in Chicago? And the Dolphins game 28-6, it was closer than that. But the thing with Lamar Jackson, and I saw this, and really anyone who has functioning eyes and has watched football for any amount of time knows. Lamar Jackson was not the same when he came back from the hamstring injury. And since then, he's had a knee, he's had an ankle. He emerged from the Jets game with a toe injury. Now, a couple of times last night, he looked to be kind of running like he used to, but he's not playing like he used to, especially in prime time. Lamar Jackson had been a terror in prime time. Christmas 2023. Remember that game? I sure do. Went into San Francisco. Brock Purdy became a turnover machine, and the Ravens were unstoppable when Lamar was unstoppable. Last night, couldn't get it going. He had 3 turnovers himself. An interception and 2 lost fumbles. And the Bengals just took advantage of the opportunities, and they just kept pushing, and they kept pushing, and they kept pushing, and the Ravens just were not up for the fight last night. At home, in a critical game, they finally caught the Steelers. If they're ever going to win a game, that's the game to win against a rival that they are used to playing at home under the lights. This wasn't some new experience for the Ravens. Now, I don't know what to think of the Ravens at 6-6. And hey, the Steelers may be 6-6 come Sunday. And the Ravens and the Steelers get together next weekend in Baltimore for the first of 2 meetings. And then they wrap it up week 18. There's so many different possibilities and permutations. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be 1 week at a time. Where are we? Where do we go from here? And then there's going to be another week of games that screws everything up. And the percentages are going to be all over the place. And who the hell knows? And that's the way we like it. That's Pete Rozell's dream. The parity he wished for back in the 70s when it was the Steelers and the Cowboys and the Dolphins and the Raiders and everybody else. It's here. This is one of those years. We don't know how this stuff's going to work out. And there's a lot of teams that are going to be alive. So a lot of fan bases are going to be engaged in that critical month of December. I always say, every team claims that it wants to win the Super Bowl. And we know that's not realistic. What's realistic is being competitive down the stretch. After Thanksgiving, being competitive. You know why? Because then people show up for your games and they buy all that overpriced crap and they pay for parking. It doesn't matter if the tickets are sold. You need the people to show up and buy stuff. Oh, and Jimmy and Johnny and Jenny, you want them to have on their Christmas list merch from the football team, not the baseball team, not the basketball team, not the hockey team, not the MLS team. You want them to want merch from the football team. You want that to be on the Christmas list. If the team's alive, better chance. They're going to want that alternate helmet, alternate jersey, alternate this, alternate that. Thanks, Nike. So, anyway, a lot of teams are going to be relevant down the stretch. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.